Have you ever heard this coming from the backseat of your car? Mom, he's touching me. When I was a kid, I remember that back seat could get pretty crowded, especially on a long trip, and we smart brothers would become very sensitive to space and touch. Mom would normally do the smart thing and simply ignore our irritating complaints. Now I want to talk with you about something you don't want to ignore: customer touchpoints. What are touchpoints, and why do they matter, and how do they fit in with your marketing efforts? I define a touchpoint as any time someone comes into contact with something related to your business. At each of those points, perceptions about your company are either being formed, modified, or reinforced. So touchpoints matter because those impressions influence buying decisions and referrals. Think about this. Your customers form impressions from all kinds of things that you might not think of as being part of the marketing sphere. And people often make buying decisions for reasons that have little to do with pricing or features. And that's one of the reasons that I like to say that marketing and operations are connected. So how do you incorporate this idea of touch points into your marketing and operational efforts? Here's a 4-step action plan. Step 1, list every touch point you can think of. Well, some will be obvious, like marketing communications and interactions with salespeople and customer service. Some points are not so obvious. Here are some examples. Think about packaging and shipping. One of my favorite fountain pens was shipped with a lollipop in the box, of all things. Well, now I'm looking forward to my next purchase from that company. Consider incoming calls. How do people answer your phone? Is it answered with a smile or with a frown? Those facial expressions are transmitted through their tone, and that leaves an impression. Honor time commitments. I worked with a doctor's office that consistently ran behind schedule with their appointments. When they made improvements in that area, their referrals quickly increased. Those are just a few examples, but you get the idea. Get people from several departments to help you make an exhaustive list of the touch points in your company. Step 2, prioritize your list. Which touch points are likely to influence buying decisions the most? Put those at the top. Well, now factor in low-hanging fruit, those things that you can easily improve, even if they're not high impact. Getting some quick wins under your belt will help your team become committed to excellence. I worked with a law office on their touch points, and they then made it a priority to clean up their cluttered reception area. They arranged it to become more welcoming, and it simply took a little planning and weekend elbow grease to make it better. The staff were pretty jazzed with all the positive comments they got from clients. Here's step 3, commit to improvement. Make your touch points part of your operational standards. Show your staff how their performance relates to touch points and how that affects profitability. Make your expectations clear and hold your staff accountable for their performance. Step 4, get customer feedback. Incorporate the touch points into your surveys and feedback forms. Of course, your list is going to be a lot longer than any survey you'd want to give out. Simply make sure you get your customer's perspective on the most basic points. You'll have to monitor your own performance on many items. It'll help you to get good at self-assessment. I want to leave you with 2 thoughts. First, it's not about your perceptions and priorities. It's all about your customers. Second, this isn't a short-term project. It's about making customer satisfaction a priority and being committed to incremental improvement. Well, I hope that helps you. This is Steve Smart.